Inclusive teaching, supporting all students in the college classroom. Microintervention strategies.
Oftentimes, professor will tell me that a microaggression has occurred, let's say, between a white student and a black student. And our studies, again, indicate that awareness is not enough. In fact, one of the things that we investigated or researched a whole group of professors and white professors and asked them what constituted difficult dialogue on race. And they would oftentimes be able to identify that a microaggression triggered a difficult dialogue. And they could see that. But they were paralyzed. They didn't know what to do about it. And this is where training begins to occur. The first step is recognizing a microaggression has occurred. The second step, when it has occurred, is how do you intervene? And in our research, we've come up with 4 different, what we call microintervention strategies. We found that there were 4 different things that instructors could do in terms of strategies. One is to make the invisible visible. And actually saying aloud that, hey, John, I think that was a stereotype that I just heard. So making the invisible visible by naming it in some sense or pointing it out in a way that is, non-punitive becomes very important. The second thing that we've come up with is to disarm the microaggression. Because when a microaggression occurs, it is painful to the target. And oftentimes you have to disarm it in one way or another. And there are ways of doing that. As an instructor, you can actually step in and saying, let's not go there. Judy, let's not go there. I don't want to hear the punchline, or even say something like, uh-oh, quicksand ahead. What you're doing is trying to divert, distract, disarm the microaggression before it becomes large. Now, why is that important? It's important primarily because it alerts the perpetrator who may not be aware of what's going on, that something is not acceptable here. But it communicates to all the other students that, hey, look this is a line that we should not cross. The third thing that we found as a strategy was to educate the perpetrator. This is where we begin to talk about separating out from intention from impact. Let's say that there's a possible anti-Semitic joke that is going to be told. And what you might say is that, John, I know you meant that to be funny, but that really hurt such and such. So you're separating, you're acknowledging the intent, and then you're in some sense talking about the impact that is going on. And it's very similar to the example I gave when people say to me, Professor Su, you speak excellent English. I will say, thank you, I hope so, I was born here. Now the psychology, it may seem simplistic, but it isn't. The psychology is that thank you, thanks the conscious intent of the communicator. I hope so pulls a person down to the meta-communication, I was born here, undermines the assumption that the person has, but at the same time doesn't make it a big battle issue where people are arguing and fighting over what's happening here. The last strategy, the fourth one, is to seek outside support, validation, and authority or help. You cannot always intervene in a microaggression without major consequences. And part of it really is that you might have to not be able to do it in the classroom, but seek outside support from other people. Perhaps the person who engaged in a microaggression has an advisor that you can seek aid and help from. But that's what we usually find. Now, this doesn't come easily. I mean, these are overall strategies, but, microaggressions occur so quickly that by the time you think about how to respond to it, it's over. That's, in fact, our studies indicate that 80% of students of color generally say that by the time they think about what to say or do, the situation's over. That's how quickly a microaggression occurs. Now, what it means is that if we use microinterventions, we've got to get it within the repertoire of responses of individuals where it is equally automatic. Professor Sue, you speak excellent English. Thank you, Jim. You do too. It's got to come quickly to be effective, and that's what that we're doing now. We're trying to get training for people so that they have within their armament the repertoire of anti-bias strategies that they can engage in.